Gasoline. Liquid power to run millions of automobiles everywhere. Yet, how many know what happens to the gas after it is poured into the gas tanks, or realize the care that motor car engineers have taken to give each drop an equal chance to do its duty? Gasoline is powerful, but each drop can give a 100% account of himself only when he finds the most efficiently designed gasoline system to help him along his journey.
This video segment continues to examine the fuel efficiencies of personal vehicles. Its major points are: number 1, fuel efficiencies in many countries have stagnated because vehicles have increased in size. Number 2, diesel vehicles emit about 5 to 30% less greenhouse gases per distance traveled than their gasoline equivalents. Number 3, government regulations on vehicles have spurred the development of more fuel-efficient technologies. Economic and regulations aside, consumers prefer larger vehicles with faster acceleration. This requires engines that are more powerful. Since the mid-1980s, when petroleum prices began to decline after the oil crises of the previous decade, vehicles in the United States and Europe have gained weight, more powerful engines, and faster acceleration. Only through technological advances discussed later in the segment have vehicle fuel efficiencies in the United States, Europe, and Australia held steady or increased slightly. Reviews of new vehicles often focus on size and acceleration. Automobile manufacturers complain, with some justification, that they have had difficulty in selling the small, fuel-efficient cars that they offer. Consequently, manufacturers have canceled many of these models and have supersized others. Diesel fuel is denser than gasoline and contains about 11% more energy per volume, yet both fuels cost about the same per volume to extract and refine. Diesel engines are also inherently more efficient than gasoline engines in converting the energy in the fuel into mechanical work because they operate at higher pressures and temperatures. Altogether, diesel engines obtain roughly 40% higher fuel efficiencies per volume of fuel than gasoline engines of the same power. Large trucks and agricultural vehicles have diesel engines to take advantage of this higher efficiency. Many countries, in consideration for the role of such vehicles in their economy, do not tax diesel fuel as heavily as gasoline. Still, small diesel engines have been plagued with performance issues, such as being noisier, generating more vibrations, being more difficult to start, emitting thick black smoke in their exhaust, and exhibiting slower acceleration than their gasoline counterparts. Technical advances during the last few decades, principally computer-controlled electronic ignition and direct fuel injection, have largely overcome these performance issues. In response to these improvements and the rising cost of petroleum fuels, the market share of diesel-powered light-duty vehicles in the European Union has doubled during the last decade and now accounts for half of all new vehicles. Comparing the greenhouse gas emissions of diesel and gasoline light-duty vehicles is tricky. Diesel fuel contain 11% more energy per volume, but also release 15% more CO2 per volume during combustion. Diesel engines weigh more than gasoline engines of the same power because diesels require larger cylinder displacement for complete combustion and heavier components to withstand higher pressures and temperatures. In small vehicles, the engine contributes a greater percentage of the total weight, and the weight penalty of a diesel engine diminishes its advantage in fuel efficiency from 40% to approximately 20%. Moreover, people tend to purchase diesel vehicles with a larger engine than if they are buying one with a gasoline engine because of diesel's higher fuel efficiency. The net result is that the higher fuel efficiency of diesel engines in light-duty vehicles sometimes barely compensates for their higher carbon dioxide emissions, heavier weights, and larger engine displacements. Diesel light-duty vehicles emit about 5 to 30% less greenhouse gases per distance traveled than their gasoline equivalents.